I'll start off with XRP, and I'm just going to do a simple chart here at the moment. So here on the 4 hour, you can see there's two channels that is moving. One is an ascending, the other is a descending, which I'll show you as I go along. So when you look at the entries, is you've got this touch here. You don't count the first one. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and generally there's at least 6. Generally now there's 6 touches. So there's a third touch due to the bottom here. Yeah, this may be topping out. It may want to go up and touch this channel and heading up a little more around the 45 mark, or it may already be done. And we'll have a look at potentially why that could be through. Yeah, equally I could be way off base there, and it's already on breakout. And this will be the argument for that. Is here's the EMA ribbons. They've crossed over. The white is the 20 EMA, and the blue is the 55 on the daily. And again, they've crossed over, and it's after breaking above this is the 50 SMA on the daily, and you can see it's come up and it's established itself with support. And here we are moving on up, and again it could be heading up to the 200 SMA on the daily at a target of 48.50 or so. Excuse me. Or equally heading up to the 200 MA at 50, 57.75, 58. And that would bring us up to here. So on the, you can see the bear channel that'll bring us up to this target here, which is the top of the bear channel here. So that's definitely very much in play. It could for sure, it looks, if you were to ask me, it looks like it's moving in that direction more than anything else. The only thing that I'm resisting it is excuse me, is Bitcoin and Ethereum are going in the opposite direction. And if Bitcoin properly drops and dumps, it will pull XRP down. Yeah. So let's just go into a little bit more. Yeah. So now I'm gonna look at how this potentially could be topping out here. Yeah. One thing it looks like is it may have already completed its impulse wave up. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It may even want to go up to here. Yeah. So that's a potential. Now when I go into, I'm looking at the down first, and then we'll switch over to the lift. Yeah. When I go into the MAs, let me just clear this out here. Yeah. Just get rid of the drawings. When I'm on the MAs here, and I go to the daily. Is on the bottom left here this is the RSI, and you can see that there's a bearish divergence here. So now you look at the chart again, from this candle here to this candle here, and everything up is a bearish divergence. Yeah, on the daily. Now normally, bottom left again, when I go back and I map out all these previous bullish and bearish divergences, there's a response immediately after the line is touched. On this one, there wasn't an immediate response. It keeps going up. So this one could be because look, it's got a proper breakthrough here. All along here, it didn't break the 55 on the daily. So that lift here is pushing it further up. The question is, how far is it going to go? And is it what's the chances of it topping out? Yeah. So when I look at what happened at the turn of the day today, is you can see the 5 MA here is moving quite a distance away from the 10. So the further away that goes, the 5 gets weaker as it goes. Yeah. Now again, the question is that far enough away, or it could go all the way up here before it gets tired out. Yeah. But that's one of the things I'm looking at, is when I look at the days that turned yesterday. There was a bunch of them turned yesterday. The sixth day turned yesterday. And over on the bottom right here is the MACD, and again, MACD is still lifting. Second on the bottom here is the stock RSI, and again it is topped out. It was coming down, but now it's doing a lift again. The RSI on the bottom left, the two on the bottom left are both RSI. It's just the one on the left in the corner that shows divergences as well. It's an indicator that marks out that divergence for it. Yeah. When you look at the chart, is look how far the orange one, the 5 MA on the 6 day is quite a distance away from price action. But you can see the VWAP, the yellow here, VWAP is really doing the push. So when the VWAP pushes like that, it generally means market makers are taking over. When the VWAP is leading, market makers are leading. So they generally take it to where they want to take it then. The 4 day, did the 4 day turn yesterday as well? Yeah, the 4 day turned as well. And again, you see the 5 is a little closer, all looking very pumpy. It's pushing on the Bollingers. If you're looking at a target here, again, there's 47. 47 is where the 50 MAs are on the 4 day. So you can see that that's a good signpost for potentially where it wants to go, yeah. The 3 day turn, yes, the 3 day turned as well, yeah. And again, already broke the 50. You can see the lift through. It wicked to the 55 yesterday on the 3 day. Excuse me. And there was a clear rejection of it. But again, you can see today it's pushing up again, yeah. So when we get to the top here, potentially we could be looking at a double top here today and a potential rejection. Or it may get tired out here. Again, this is if it's the impulse and it's going to come down for a correction, yeah. So I think obviously the top that it hit yesterday will be a good marker of whether that holds or not, yeah. But you can see the 55 on the 3 day is a question mark for that, yeah. If it starts breaking that, again, I'm looking at, okay, look, cause here we go. It looks like 47, 48, 49 is going to be the next level up, yeah. The stock is up here. This one on the second bottom, second right. The far right on the bottom, the MACD, you can see MACD is still lifting, and then the RSIs are lifting as well, yeah. So you can see all those days that changed all have a bit of pump, in them. But you will notice as well, even if I go back to the 6, is there's been 2 cycles of green on the 6. There's been quite a bit of lift on the green days. On the 4, again, you can see there's been quite a bit of lift. It's 8 days, 9 days. So 9 days of lifting. The 3 again is, you can see the lift. So at somewhere along here, there's going to have to be a bit of a reset. Even if it wants to continue on up, there's still going to be a reset for continuation. Yeah. So on the 2 day, again, bottom right, MACD is still heading up. Stock second on the right here is, again, you see it starting to top out, but on the days here that keep going for quite a bit. The RSI is heading into the oversold. The white line's bottom left. So you can see that there. Now the bottom left again is there is a bullish divergence down here. There was a bullish divergence from here to here, and you can see that that's giving it a lift, yeah. And again above it you've got 46. There's the 144, the weighted 144 WMA, the 100 MA at 48 or so, and the 111 pi cycle at 51, yeah. So again, it is looking like it wants to go there. And then on the daily, again, here we are, and the 5 is moving away, but there's I think that's the 200 MA, 200 MA on the daily at 48.50. So yes, you can see bottom right is the MACD is heading up. The stock RSI, the second on the right, is heading up, and then the RSI is heading up today as well. Yeah, and then bottom left is there's a bearish divergence on the daily, as I said earlier. Yeah, so which is indicating that there's a bit of a pullback is due, and that's where with this here, it's already 1, 2, 3 from where this triggered. Completed here. There's 1, 2, 3. It's like four days of continuation up from there. So in some ways, I find it difficult to believe that it will get all the way up here without this bearish divergence actually pulling it back down. Yeah. So, but again, it could pop up for sure. Yeah. When I flick into the 12-hour, and one of the things I'm mindful of is the yellow one here is the VWAP, and the VWAP turned or maintained support for the lift today, so it didn't turn into resistance. I'm looking for, if this is going to top out, for the VWAP, the yellow one here, to switch from support to resistance. That will indicate the switch, and generally if that's going to switch through the day, it normally switches around the turn of the 12-hour. It's halfway through the day, yeah? So the 12-hour is going to turn in pretty much 3 more hours, yeah? 3 hours and 5 minutes. So that's what I'll be looking for. So when I'm zooming into the smaller time frames, I'll be looking at that, yeah? So bottom left, again, you can see that there's a bearish divergence, and there's been continuation up from there. However, if you zoom in here just a little bit more, is if you look at this lift here, so you can see this lift here equates to this green candle here. Okay, and now there's been a drop down, and RSI has come back up, but it hasn't broken above it. But yet, price action has gone higher. So there is, even though the system isn't showing it, there is another bullish divergence showing here. It's just the system here hasn't triggered yet, but you can see it where price action is going up, but yet the RSI is coming down. Yeah. So on the 12-hour, again, it's showing that it's getting tired. Yeah. But again, I'm going to say it again. The dailies are moving price action at the moment. When you look at the MAs, it's the dailies that are moving it. Which means the day can have a divergence on it. The 4-hour can be screaming bearish divergence. But because the dailies are moving it, it'll just keep moving. It'll push through them, yeah. No different than you're getting a 4-hour pump and the 5-minute is screaming divergence, but yeah, you get a load of them on the way up until it finally tops out. So that could be the challenge with the daily and the 12-hour with their bearish divergence is the 3-day, the 6-day says no, I want to keep going up, so it'll push through. So that's very much on the cards, yeah. So now when we zoom in, it's pretty much 12. Just going to be 3 more minutes that the hours are going to turn. The 9-hour is going to turn in 3 minutes, yeah. So we can see again. Look at the yellow line here. The VWAP is really leading the charge here. Here's the 5 MA pushing through. Now when you start to see the MAs spread out like this, they're very open to turning. All you need is something to turn, and you can pull through these very easily, yeah. So you can see them spreading out. We'll come back to that in a couple of minutes when the time turns, yeah. Now we flick to the 8-hour. Again, you can see that the 5 and the 8-hour are starting to level out a little bit more. The VWAP is still lifting, but you can see that there hasn't been a huge push on this candle yet. So we'll see we'll see what happens when we go down to the bottom right. Is the MACD is still pushing up. That still looks like it wants to go, but bottom second on the right is the stock here is topped out, and you can see the stock is starting to come down. So the stock is pushing down, and then the RSI second on the left, again you can see it's topped out a couple of times. Over to the left again, you can see the bearish divergence. So even the 8 hour is looking at getting a bit exhausted here. So this when you look at the RSI here, this wick on the RSI here, again the question is, it's slightly up, but will it actually turn down and go red? So I'm looking for that to see if that's going to happen. Yeah. So let me flick into the 4 hour. I don't want to spend too long because you could go forever on these. Yeah. But there's the 6. There's the 6. Similar story. Not going to say the same thing in every one. If something's a little different, I'll say it. Yeah. Now the 4 hour bottom left is, again, you can see a big bearish divergence, and again here's another one down here, and you can see price action. This one here is price action eventually start pushing up through it. Equally, so did the RSI. But there's this bigger bearish divergence here as well. Yeah. When you go to the second on the left, now they're both the same. It's just this one shows the one on the far left shows the divergence lines. Yeah. The second on the left is just the RSI, and you can see it's topped out. It's come down, it's topped out again, and again it does look like it's in a pattern where it's ready to start coming down. Yeah. Equally, second on the right is the stock RSI, and you can see again that's coming down again. And then on the far right is you can see the MACD, and again this is where the MACD is. It looks like it's topping out, and it's just, you see it bouncing along the top here. It could just as easily take another leg up or head down. So we got to see. At the moment, if you look at the candles, I think this is the 1000 MA, this purple one here. Yes, the 1000 MA. So price action, you can see it's being rejected by it here, and it's above it at the moment, and it's resting on it as support. So the question is that is this eventually, is it getting above this, or will it get a pull down? Yeah. The previous 4 hour, this candle here, the 10 had actually turned down, and it looked like it wanted to cross over. And what I mean by that is that you'll see that the reversal signal on the candle, or in the MAs, is when the 5 MA crosses the 10, which it did here. It's a strong signal for the reversal. Now maybe because we're on the dailies and it's pushing up, is that this could be invalidated. But generally, when you look back at history, is so many times, the vast majority, when the 5 crosses, not the candles, but the MAs cross over, it's a sign of reversal. But yet, look, the 5's come up, the 10 is coming up, and it's still starting to move up again. So we got to see how this plays out. And this 5 is pushed. It's got a good curve on it there. So we got to see how it goes. Okay, so the 9 hour has turned. Let's have a quick look now. And just what's this doing here? Yeah. Okay, so the VWAP has gone sideways. The yellow one here, but that's sideways. That all the way up, you see it going sideways, and then it goes up another leg. So it's not too much to read into. You can see the 5 is continuing up, and equally the 10 here. So you see this 5 and 10 moving like this. This is generally a view of a continuation pattern. Yeah. Now they can break, but generally when you get them moving up like this, is it looks like they want to keep going up until something decides to turn, and this 5 MA didn't turn here at the moment. But let's see what the 3 hour did, because the 3 hour turned as well. Okay, and again the same. You can see the 5 and the 10 are continuing. VWAP's gone sideways. So again, this looks like it still wants to go. Bottom left, there's the divergences. It's topping out on the RSI. Looks like it wants to go and top out again on the RSI. On the second on the right is the stock RSI. That was near the bottom. It's doing a little lift here. And then the MACD on the bottom right is, again, you can see it floating along at the top there, yeah. And there's other indicators here, and I'm just observing these. I'm watching these over time to get a good sense of what they are, so I can talk about them. Some of them are very good and very telling, but I'll talk about them later, yeah. So now let's just have a quick look at the 2 hour. Just seeing is there anything in these shorter time frames that are potentially showing that this is getting tired. And again here bottom left, you can see that the more bearish divergences, yeah. The second on the right, you can see the stock RSI is resetting itself back to the top, and it's nearly there. So now this is an interesting one. If you look at the bottom here, so there's the bottom of it there. If you go to the price action, there's the bottom there, and all these candles here are helping reset this the RSI, the stock RSI here, yeah. Now when you look at go back to the RSI again, there's the previous top. Now look at where it is in price action. Now go to the bottom of the RSI again, and okay, there's another bottom. So watch this. Now price action here, here's the bottom of the RSI. You got this big lift all the way up. You got to reset back to the bottom, and again you got to lift again, and again look at how little the lift is on this second one compared to the first one. So the lift is getting less at the moment. And most of the effort in it is when it starts. By the time it starts getting to the top, it starts getting a little bit tired. So that's a signal that the 2 hour is starting to top out. But again, that could be another 2 or 3 cycles of the 2 hour. When we go to the 1 hour, again the RSI is breaking through the overbought. RSI on the top is breaking above again. You see there's a big bearish divergence here. Yeah, you can see the 5 is starting to move away from the 10 a bit more. The VWAP is starting to level out here. And the reason why I'm pointing out the VWAP leveling out here a little bit more is because the 5 is also starting to move away. You can see it's moving on its own here, yeah. So this potentially has a potential to turn here, yeah. If it keeps doing this and working on its own. So now I'm going to fly through the shorter time frames because I know I'm talking a lot about this. You can see the half hour here. Again on the stock, it's topping out. It's topping out a lot. RSI, the half hour is topping out a lot on the bottom left. So that's really pushing on the half hour, yeah. Just come back to the hour. Okay, now the 15-minute. Again, serious look at the RSI here, bottom left. That really went into the overbought here, yeah. And then you can see again there's bearish divergences. So there it does look like it's setting itself up for a reset. Again, it may be a short one and for continuation, but it looks like it's getting a little bit tired and it's gonna need to come down a little bit, yeah. And then just for the more immediate, the 5-minute. Again, look at the RSI here. It's really went into the overbought here, yeah. And that was up here, yeah. And you can see it's trying to reset itself back to the bottom. But at the same time, it's still going up. And then bottom left here, you can see all the screaming bearish divergences. But they're on the 5-minute. And in some ways, like if the data wants to keep going, these don't matter at all. So we'll see, and then the stock RSI down here again, you can see it push down, yeah, it's pushing down, but it's nearly at the bottom there, yeah. Okay, so now one of the things I noticed is, so if it's going to go up, if it breaks 43.51, and it's looking like it wants to keep going, I think we're heading up for around 49, yeah. And let me show you here on the channels. Here's the channels chart, yeah. Here's all the support and resistance lines, and here's this descending channel that I was talking about as well. See the red one is the ascending. and then the white one is the descending. Now this is where the question of is it going to continue up or is it going to top out and come down is going to be asked. If it's going to keep going up, we're looking at potentially, you can see over here, the top of this level here is 46.51. This is where this arc is, yeah? The top of this is, if this is going to continue up and break above 46.51, I'm pretty sure it's going to head all the way up to 58. I'm pretty sure it's going to head all the way up to that, yeah? Is what it would need to get past, if you look at this channel where I was pointing it out earlier on, is it may have topped out already and may want to go to the top of this channel at 44.64, and then we've got to see what it wants to do. So this is the area. So if I was to hone in a little bit more, is I would say just even the top of this channel here, 44.61, let's say 45 even, is what it wants to do when it gets up around here. If it starts breaking through, now we're breaking out of this channel and we've got that extra lift up, yeah? And you can see this sets up a new arc. So you can see the arc here. So you can see this arc here, and potentially we're already on our way up to setting up this arc here, and price action will play out on this, yeah? So that's that potential. Or equally is if you look at the white channel here, so now we're going to look a little bit at it coming down, yeah? Is the white channel here, it could be a breakout of this only for it to come back down, yeah? And be setting up an arc down here, yeah? So now let's have a look at the count here. So the first drop in is you don't count it. So 1, 2, 3 is we haven't had a fourth. So again, is there's an argument to be made that we could have a fourth down here coming down to 26, 27, even a little lower to 24. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have our move up, and we start moving into the bull market, yeah. So they're the two thoughts here, yeah. So the question is, if this is going to tire out, is are we going to get a move down here? I think the only way this happens is and it happens pretty efficiently in the next short while, couple of days. We're due a breakout of about a 35% move. If Bitcoin spills, if Bitcoin starts dropping, I think it'll pull XRP down with it. Yeah, it'll pull the whole market down. If XRP turns and pumps, which we're going to have a look at again, we're heading up. So yeah. So if this is topping out here, let's have a look at targets here, yeah. And a simple one, this red channel here here it is again, just as a channel without all the other lines, so it's clearer, yeah. A simple target, it would be back down and coming down onto 34, just simply looking at the channel lines here, 35.70 and 34, or equally, it might want to come all the way back down to the 618 on the macro, which is 32.30. Okay, so when I put the fibs on it, just as it is now, and again, here's the bottom, is if it wants to reset and continue up, we may have a shallow reset to between the 382 and the 05 at about 37.50. We get a shallow correction and then it continues on up. For sure, that could happen, yeah. Is equally, if it wants to reset deeper, back down onto this line is the golden pocket. Is coming down onto this line is the 702. Coming down onto the 618 is we're passing through the 786 and again hitting off the 618, yeah. Now why might that happen? Where's the argument for that, yeah? I'll show you this. This is just as a potential, yeah? Is this potentially is starting to look like a diamond. A diamond top. So diamond tops is our reversal patterns. Diamond tops, diamond bottom. So diamond top is a reversal for where it started. Diamond bottom is a reversal again, same thing. So let's just draw it out here, yeah. Start here. You got this here. Potentially, again, depends on whether this corrects. Potentially, we're looking at this here, yeah. Now, if that's the case, is generally what you do is now probably even though this is the impulse here, I believe is where we will probably take it from. And if you put that, let's say it depends on where it breaks out. You put that there, you can see that the length would take us back down to the 618. That will take us back down. You can see there, that will take us back down to the 618. So potentially, we could be, and because of this here, this is a pivot candle, and it's a massive pivot candle. Potentially, this could be setting up the diamond top for reversal. But we got to see what this wants to do. For that to happen, this is going to have to get tired, reset itself, do a little bounce, and then find its way down. Yeah. So that for sure is playing out as well. Yeah. So that target, again, staging it as we go down, is we're looking at these targets here. There we go. Okay. We're looking at these targets here. So let's see what it wants to do. And I think again, the turn of the day when the 12 o'clock turns is what would we be looking for in the MAs. In the MAs, what we would be looking for. Let's just go to the 12. So there's the 12. To be honest now, when I look at the 12, to me it doesn't look likely, because this, I know these are spreading out, but the 5 is just quite a bit of, and the VWAP is leading here. So in one way, I'm not holding my breath for it, so to speak. Yeah, I've seen the VWAP turn down here only to get turned back up. So when the 12-hour turns, is at a minimum, I'd probably want to see the VWAP take a turn down, because then the VWAP is looking like it could be turning into resistance. So if the 12-hour turns and the VWAP keeps going up, it's like, okay, well, that looks like it's support. If it takes a turn down, okay, now it looks like it's resistance. And that's the VWAP flipping from support to resistance. And then that could be an indication that we're taking a break. And you can see where it's happened here. When the VWAP turns, is again, it pulls it down, but again, it can't hold it and it comes back up. The VWAP turned here again, but look, can't hold it, and it got turned back up again. So now if it's getting exhausted, will it do it again? So we'll see. And if you look at the pattern, is two up, one down, 2 up, 2 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 2 down. So potentially 1 up. If it's getting tired, we might have 2 or 3 down. But again, you can see what I'm talking about there. Yeah. So that's it. So that's XRP. So now targets that I said is the top of the moment is 43.56. If that gets broken, I reckon potentially we're going to be looking at a 49. A 49, potentially 49 heading on up to 58, 59 or so, yeah. Is if this wants to do a reset, is we could be looking at a shallow reset at 37.50. We could be looking at a much deeper reset all the way down to 32, 31. It can still swing on up and still break up and head up for the 50s. It doesn't mean that's going to spill down. But it's just a question of when this needs to take a break, how far is it going to go, and what direction does it want to go after that? So they're the basic potentials. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. The pump is looking super pumpy. But Bitcoin, which is what we want to switch to now, is Bitcoin and Ethereum have been going down while XRP is going up. Bitcoin has been going down. So now I'm gonna do Bitcoin from just a clear chart. Yeah. So just I'm gonna zoom out to the daily. And this is all of Bitcoin's history. I've got it on the log scale, and I'm on Bitstamp. And the reason why I'm on Bitstamp is because it gives me all the history. Bybit doesn't. So, and I want to zoom out and just look at where are the main lines here for Bitcoin, and then zoom in from there. Yeah. So I can see there's a line here. There's a center line. So there's a center line that's going on in Bitcoin. Now I'll make the dailies white. There's a center line. Let's say about there. There's Bitcoin's center line. Yeah. So these are different bull runs. This is 2013. Peaking at 2013. There's a bottom of 15. There's the top of 17. There's the bottom of 17. 2020. Here's the top of 2021. And again, here we are in our correction. Yeah. So there's a center line. You can see it bouncing along it. Yeah. Here is the previous high on Bitcoin. And again, this is a valid point because look, you can see price action is bouncing along it at the moment. Yeah. And what I'm looking for I'll just leave it at that. Just on the dailies. Yeah. I'm going to keep the dailies pretty simple. Yeah. So just the axis of this. Yeah. So now when I zoom in here, is if this is going to drop to another level, you can see there's a level there, and that's at 13,900 or so. I know people are talking about deeper levels. So if you look at here's another level here. There's 9,879. There's 10,000. Let's leave it there. Okay. Now levels above that are you can see this one is very important here. So you can see in the bull run, is this was holding, and when this broke, again is okay. Now we're in for something deeper. Yeah, that's also an M. So look, you could stick an M pattern. It's a clear M pattern. So you could simply just do this, take this here, and you go, look, the M pattern target here is 11,000 minus 12,000. So there's an argument to say that the bottom isn't in for Bitcoin, but again, that's very basic, yeah. But it has broken the center line, and it's proper spilling out of the center line. So there you can see the correction, yeah. Now that center line also shows the S curve of Bitcoin. So you can see, look how steep it is here. And then this takes longer. Look, it is not as steep. Look, it's dragged out again. Now look how this one's not as steep. So you can see the S curve is starting to swing down. Yeah, on Bitcoin. Okay, so now let's zoom in. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, now I can see a channel here, which I know is also a 4-hour, but I'll put it on here, and I'll put it on as a yellow. Yeah. This is the bear. This is Bitcoin's bear channel. Okay, let's just bring it all the way down to here as a basic marker, yeah. And I think it would be good to put it like that there. Okay. So now and I believe that there like that there, yeah. So you can see there's a clear bear channel all the way down here, yeah. Excuse me. Now, I also think there's a wedge here. I know there's a wedge here. Just trying. I need enough supports on it. Okay. Potentially there's a wedge line here. But you know what? I'll keep it simple. Get rid of that. Okay, so now let's have a look at the daily here. Yeah, it's broken to this channel. There's the first touch. We don't count that. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, a general rule is 3 touches to the top, 3 touches to the bottom. Yeah, so don't count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5, and then 6. So even if we just look at this here, is this target down here is we're back down to 13,900 or so, yeah. And again, if you slide it down, because it'll take a bit of time to do it, somewhere around here, yeah. So that's again, it's very basic TA, but these rules play out very regularly. So even on the macro scale, you can't ignore them. Now I'm going to put the fibs on. So look, here is 2011. 2011. 2013. If I put the fibs on, from here to here. Now what I'm mapping out is the correction. So where on this bull run, the correction, so I'm going from the top to the bottom on the fibs, is the correction came to between the 236 and the 382. So a very shallow correction, and look, on it went. And you can see it bottomed out, and you see it gradually bottomed out, gradually working up, and then it went parabolic again, yeah. But the correction here was quite shallow. And then when you had to go from the top to the bottom here, because look, that's where the bottomed out. So I'm going to come this way. Again, look at the correction. It came to pretty much the same space between the 236 and the 382. So now, here's the top. And again, there's the bottom. That's where it bombed out. Is the correction. The correction so far has broken through the 382 this time, and is sitting between the 382 and the 05. So again, the correction this time is deeper, excuse me, and the next level down, maybe this is bottomed out here, or if it wants to go another level, the 05 again will be taking us down to around this range at this support line here, yeah, support and resistance line. So again, that's just checking just to see what it's showing here, yeah. So now let me zoom in to the 4 hour. Okay. So you can see the channel, and I'll make this yellow. make this yellow. Okay. So you can see we're bouncing along this support and resistance. Here's the lower low of the bear market, and again you can see all this bouncing through. Yeah. So now one of the things that I'm potentially looking at here is, actually let me go back to the daily for a second, is 3 levels down. So you've got one level here, okay, it has its own impulse. One level is this looks like a retrace on the daily. It looks like a retrace down to the next level. So this looks like there's one level down, there's 2 levels down. It does look like there's a 3rd level that needs to go. It does look like that when you look at the levels. 1, retrace, 2, because look at the whole consolidation phase here. Look at the consolidation phase here. They're very, very similar. So there's 2 consolidation phases. It does look like there's a 3rd one due to bottom out. So just to note that, yeah. So now on the 4 hour is we have a channel here. So look, you can see this channel here, yeah. And let's say if I put it there, I think that's reasonable to put it there. Also, let's look at the top and bottoms here. This one is a bottom. Let's look at this support here. I think this is reasonable here. And also, I'm going to put this one in here. Okay. So now we're zooming in. So you can see, and then this is also a support and resistance line here, yeah. So you can see on the 4 hour, as you can see, there's certain support and resistance channels that price action is moving in. So since it broke through, here's the bottom here, it lifted up, broke through. So here's the touches, here's the first one. Again, we won't count that. Is if we stick within this smaller range, because you can see it's really playing in this range more, is we've got a touch here. So 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm going to bring it down there to count this. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, and again we have 2 to either side, potentially 3 and 3 here, yeah. So I'm just counting it out. So now look at this channel here, because since it topped out here, it came into the channel, it's topping out here. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Again, this looks like it might be bottoming out here and potentially heading up for 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 taking it down, and then 6 taking it up. So that's a potential as well, yeah. So that's on the 4 hour. So now let's zoom in a little bit more to the 1 hour. Okay, so the white ones are the dailies, the yellow are the 4 hour. Now we're on the hour, yeah. So now we're going to focus a little bit more on more local. So if we look at this here, you can see that there's a channel line going on here, yeah. And we will make this, what color we make this? Okay, make this blue. Okay, so now within here, and again you can see this white line again is still a support line. Even on the 1 hour, you can see the 1 hour playing out here, yeah. So I'll put that like this. Okay, and again is you can see So now on the 1 hour is we have this lift up, is we have this pump. Now this is very telling. Look at this impulse. Price action has now broken below it. What that generally means is that price action is going to continue down. So I'll give you an example. Here's this impulse. I put a fib on it. So from top to bottom, there's the bottom. Put the fib on it, and you're looking at the correction. You know, here it might be an 05 or the golden pocket. So bounce through to the, look, it hit the 786. So you can really say that's the completion of this impulse. Generally a 786 is the max. Outside of that, you're heading down for zero. It bounced back up to the 618, and then look, continue down, broke zero. You can see it bouncing back up and coming back down again. See, it's bouncing along this ascending channel here, and again, look, it's done an impulse here, and it looks like it's going red again. Yeah. So now this impulse was broken, which means is you reverse the fibs. So you do the same again. So there's the top, there's the bottom. So now, rather than the correction being within this space, now the correction is down here. Okay, so you start looking at going through the levels down here, and the general level that you would go to as a key point is the 618. So the 1.618 will be the general breakdown target. Yeah. Now, of course, it can be anywhere from where it is now. That could be enough, but generally it's an impulse, and it's impulsing down now. So this looks a bit shallow. So you're looking at the 1272 all the way down. So there's the 1618, and let's put a where is it? There's the 1618. Is 16333. Okay, is if it really wanted to impulse down, is a full impulse down generally with the 2272. So there's 14.3, yeah. And I know that's a general target that people are talking about. So potentially is, remember that this yellow channel, potentially is Bitcoin could be coming down to this yellow channel. Okay, could be coming down to this yellow channel here. Yeah. So remember this yellow channel, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially coming all the way down, touching it again. 5. That would be 13.379. Coming down here, 6, and then that could be the bottom again, potentially. You know, I don't know. But that impulse, this impulse and the breaking below it is a clear indication that it's going further. There is a clear indication of that. Yeah. You can see that it came back into this support line here, this channel here. So remember this channel came down here. So 1, this is the bottom, we don't count this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, it could be breaking back into this, heading up for 5. And again, doing a double top here, yeah. Back up to 22.738. However, if it was going to do that, it would need to have gotten back up past this line. This line was 20,400, yeah? You can see this channel here on the 1 hour. So when you see this impulse here, when it broke below it, when it broke through this, broke below it, is indicating it's going to go further. If it was going to recover itself, it got back up here yesterday, I believe, came back onto this line, it broke through. Now the FOMC impulsed it to 20,000 or so, but it didn't get it back up above this line, which will be indicating that it's establishing a new lift and heading on up. It didn't get that far. It collapsed back down again. Here it is, back testing this line again, this daily support and resistance line. So when we zoom in on the 15 minute, it looks like it's done an impulse up. One leg, two legs, three legs. There's the blow off top, and it looks like it's going to come back down for a correction, yeah. And we got to look to see how far that's going to come down. And I think a very telling, see if it wants to bounce off this and find its way back up, is it want to be this channel here, finding its way back up again, even to 21,500. Not even 22.7, but 21.5. See this channel that's bouncing through here? However, if this correction on this impulse breaks back below this one-day channel again, it's getting rejected. If this impulse here comes back down and breaks below its zero line and breaks below this channel, I think it's a very clear indication that it's going much deeper. So I think, and I'm going to put the fibs on it here. So here's this impulse. If we're looking for continuation up, you'll get that shallow retrace to around the 05. So at the moment, price action topped out here at 19,269. If it comes back down to about 18.7 and then does another lift up, then there's a good chance we're going to break above this and again head up for this 20,400. This yellow channel here, it could be topping out at 21.5. It might even get all the way back up to here, 22,766. And that's a good sign for a lift out and heading on up for bigger things, yeah? However, if it breaks below and it starts coming to a 618 and a 786 here, back down at 18,400, it could do another small impulse and then continue on playing out here a little bit more, and it's still, the decision hasn't been made. If we see it breaking below zero here, so if it comes down and breaks below 18,155, the bottom here, is then we start looking at the fibs again, and we start looking at that even on just this 15 minute, a deeper push through will be again back down to the, let's say, the 1618 at 17.5. So now is, I'm gonna map this out with signals here, or with lines. So a shallow correction, and then a pump, a back test to support this line, a pump, a back test, and then a pump, and potentially a back test, and we've got this continual lift, and again heading all the way back up to 22.77, and again pushing on up for 25.5. Yeah, again all the way up to be a reset and up again. Probably again a back test to here, breakthrough, back test. Something that would be the general gist of it. Yeah. Excuse me. If it's coming down, is rather than the shallow one, we might again get that 786 back to 618, and then we push down. We get a bounce off this line, get a little back test, and we get a push, and you see it doing the 3 steps down to the 618. So now you're starting to see the 3 steps down, and then if that happens, so if it breaks below 18,156, if it continues down past 18,000 and finds its way down to 17,492, I believe then we're breaking or we've already broken the lower low. We've already broken the lower low. Okay, so there's the lower low. There is the lower low, right there. Now let's go back into the hour. So look, there's that blue line. Let's make it a red line. No, because it's, yeah, make it a red line. Okay, so there's a lower low. So you can see that price action could be taking its way down here. And at the same time, it's breaking this channel. It's breaking below this channel, and it looks like it could be heading down for this channel here, somewhere here, yeah. We got to see. Excuse me. It may just come and do a double bottom, and then it bottoms out. It bottoms out, not necessarily breaking it or breaking it a little bit, and then we have our lift back up to 20,000 or so, and looking to rehabilitate itself, getting above this line again, 20,400. So we could have that, and it's just a double bottom, and then it's going to work its way back up, or it's going to go for a bigger capitulation. Yeah, it really depends on how it deals with this channel line here, and if it breaks below, will it get rejected? You know, will it get rejected, or will it continue on down? So that's what I think. That's what I think. That's the story getting played out here. Is if I just have a quick look at the 15. Okay. Quick look at the 5. Yeah, that's the story. That's the story. Let's see what that wants to do, yeah. Okay, so now is going to have a look at ETH. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with ETH, yeah. So now with ETH, here we are on the daily. I've got the log scale on, and I'm on Bitstamp. I'm on Bitstamp because it gives me the full history, where Bybit doesn't give me the full history, so, and I can't map it out as well as I can, because I need all the historical data to be accurate with it, yeah. So let's have a look now. I'm just having a quick look at how XRP is doing. I'm actually doing it on my phone. I'll just flick in here. Just have a quick look. Okay, so at the 12 o'clock turned. Let's have a look at the 1 hour. Okay, so again, remember we talked about that potentially getting exhausted. So there's the 1 hour going a bit red. Battling it out a little bit is it's going to turn again in less than 15 minutes. Let's have a quick look at what the 15-minute is doing. Excuse me. Okay, so again, it looks 15-minute looks like it's topping out at the moment. At the moment, we could be getting it just taking a breather. So here's the 5-minute. Just having a look at the 5-minute, because again, look, we had this and it continued on up. So until we see the 5-minute breaking the 20s here and really breaking the 50s. So when we go to the 15, again, are we having one of these, or is it going to properly break through? So you can see that on the 15, the 5 turned, but the 10 didn't, the blue one. So seeing the 10 turn gives us an indication that, okay, look, it's going to put a bit more effort into breaking it. The VWAP is going level here at the moment, and again, it could be setting itself up for the turn of the day, that when the 12-hour turns in an hour and 10 minutes, this is already in its correction. So when the 12-hour turns, is the VWAP potentially could turn into resistance, and again support the correction on the way down. That's one thing I'm looking at, yeah. If it gets a rejection, well then look, we're going to be heading up again. So that's what I'm looking at there. And again, scream bottom left, screaming bearish divergence. There's the half hour. Okay, nice red candle on the half hour. But again, look, we've had them previously. Need to see a turn here on the 5, a proper commitment from the 5. Okay, so here's Ethereum. I haven't really been looking at Ethereum a huge amount, but from just listening to people, Ethereum, of all the coins that we were looking for the market to maybe do a proper rally. ETH did its rally because of the merge, yeah. Where Bitcoin and XRP didn't do a proper rally yet, yeah. But Bitcoin or Ethereum did, and again because of the merge, yeah. But now since then it's doing a correction. But now let's just go out to the daily first. I'm going to go out to the daily and have a look at just what's important to the daily. And again, I'm going to look for a center line rather than doing lots of channels. I'm just going to look for a center line first and foremost, yeah. Now I just threw that out there. I'm not saying that's the center line. I just put it out there. I think. There we go. That's the center line. Okay. Just let me make it a 1. Okay. I would put it. I think it fits. There you go. Very nicely there. Okay. Okay. So look, here's the start of Ethereum's from 2015. Here's 2016. So bull run correction. 17 bull run and lower low the correction here, and then 21, and we're in the correction now. And you can see the center line here and how it's behaving. So you can see that it dropped through this, it back tested, and it's coming down again. Yeah. So now let's just have a quick fib look at previous bull runs and the corrections. So like Bitcoin, we're just looking a little bit of historical. Here's the peak, and look, it came to between the 236 and 382. Bitcoin's very similar as well, yeah. Now on this one, here's the bottom, here's the top. So we take from the top and we go back to the bottom here and we bring it over. Now this one broke through to the 05. Okay, and then look, it came up. There's the rally, and look, it came back down to do like a 1, 2, and then we're on the way up. So that's an 05, just for a bit of historical reference. And now here, here's the top. And then here's the bottom here. Let's pull this over. Okay. Now at the moment, it's only done a 382, a little bit below. This one did an 05. Potentially because of the S-curve is a 382, less than 382, 236 to 382, and 05 is potentially this one could become, just following my simple logic here, coming to even a golden pocket drop, which we back to, Jesus, $400. Imagine it went to the 786, $198. That'd be amazing as a purchase. But let's say even it seems like the 382 correction seems a bit shallow. Just in general, yeah. Just in general. So now, if we look at support lines on the daily, this is the previous high. So you can see this as a support line here. And you can see it bouncing, it broke through, got back above it, and it's after getting back down below it again. Okay, so when we zoom in, we'd be looking at breaking below. Was there a back test? Potentially, is there going to be a back test? We'll look at that, yeah. But you can see it breaking again. Even just taking a line here from the top. I'm trying to ask myself, is that a head and shoulders? Is that some pattern? But just very simply from the top here, put it here. The answer here is 438. Just out of curiosity. That will be between the 05 and the 618. Okay, just out of curiosity. Okay, so now, so you can see the axis we have here. Is there any more support lines? If it's going to go lower, let's see if we can see where is another support line. So here's another support line here. Okay, so you can see it as a resistance here, broke through, failed support, resistance here, failed support, back up again, nearly hit it here but didn't come back down. You can see a breakthrough and a back test to it here. So, you could argue that the line might be a little bit better there, but you're lifting it away here. So in and around this zone, let's not, and because it wicked to here, let's leave it here. But you can see there was a back test and a continuation on up. Now it's dropped to it again. It held, it bounced off it. Look, it broke out of this. See the center channel here? It broke out of it, bounced to here. Relief rally, breaks back up, hits the center line again, gets rejected, back onto this support line, bounces, and breaks through it again. So potentially, I'm not even sure it's going to do it. Oh, look. I was going to say potentially it's going to come back and do a back test here. And you can sort of say it's already done the back test. It's already done the back test yesterday. That volatility yesterday got a rejection, pushing back down, and today it's doing a correction at the moment. When we zoom in, this will give us more detail. But you can see on the daily what's going on here, yeah? And then when we look at this here, something like this here. No, I think we put it here. So if you've got resistance, support, a little bit of support, rejection. I think maybe about there. There we go. Okay, so look, you've got this line here, and this line is going to be the decider, I believe. When this line gets broken, I think that's where we start to see the proper breakup for the next bull run. But yeah, it's got rejected here, got rejected here. You can see that it's setting up an arc here. You see 1, 2, 3 topping out. If we just do a simple fib on this, it looks like at least if it wants to do a 786 is back down to 1051, or maybe it wants to come back down and start to do a triangle here. A triangle here. Give me that. Jeez, where is it? Here. Look, here's one level. Drop here, we get another level, and drop here. So back down to here, back up to here, back down to here, and again you can see back to this line, back test, back up here, and again we need to get above this. Yeah, but you can see that it would. Jeez, there we go. You can see potentially I'm playing into this triangle pattern here. Yeah, but remember we also looked at it and thought, this looks like it has more to go. So when I look at it on the daily, look, here's one level. There's a retrace, sideways. Here's another level. It does look like it has another level to go. It looks like it has another level to go. So now let's have a look at the channel here. Is there a channel that could support that? I think we have that there, yeah. I think that's a good channel, yeah. Okay, so now look look at it here is we have to break into it. Don't count this. Is we have a drop down. 1, 2, 3, breaking the lower low. It might want to go further. 4. Let me start this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, not sure about this. Not sure about this, but leave it there for now because I think it's clear. It's a clear support line here. Hasn't broken it, so it's a clear support line. And we're still on the daily, yeah. So there's the dailies. Let's zoom into the 4 hour. Okay. So now we can see on the 4 hour. We can see on the 4 hour is there is a support line here. Make this yellow.
Last 4 day.
Say again? Oh, the 4 day. Ah, I meant the 4 hour. Sorry about that. Thanks. Thanks, Lee. It's probably still valid, Lee. It is valid, yeah. That's funny. Let me just take this out for now. Okay, so same thing. Look, there's a support and resistance line here. There's another one up here as well, yeah. Might as well put it in because locally it's valid right now. It's in play, so to speak, yeah. There's another one here. Okay. There's another one there. Okay. And potentially it looks like there's another one. I don't want to do too many. I won't do too many, but look, you can see there's another one here in the 4 hour. These will be my 4 hour channels, setting them up. It may be that it bounces down here. Remember, 3 legs down. So 1, do another bounce down to here, or something like. Do another one here, and then another drop down. Yeah. Okay. I won't put in so many because I don't muddy up the chart too much. Yeah. Now what I'm looking for here is a channel pattern that's playing, and I'm gonna take from here to here. Okay, I'll move this up a little bit here. So now look, it drops in 1, 2, and this would fit in with, if I wanted to go sideways, 3. You know, potentially heading back up 4, 5, 6, and up we go. Potentially it could be setting that up. And it just does a double bottom here. It doesn't go any lower. It goes down to 822. Doesn't go any lower than that, yeah? And again, when we look at the fib again, we put the fibs on it. Okay. And remember we did this earlier on when we're looking at the daily, is we put this here. Look, here we are as a correction down to the 786. So potentially is we could be looking at a correction here down to this support line at 1040. It might stop there. And look, you have a little arc going on here, and then up it goes. The bottom is in and up it goes. That could be it. But remember when we looked at the daily and the corrections, it does look like there's more to go. It does look like that, yeah. But again, I don't want to be going to be too biased now. Let's just keep going with the charts. I'm looking at, again, a channel here. I'm looking at a channel here, yeah. So you can see that there. Look at resistance, bounce through, back up, resistance, broke through, support. Is the white line is the other side of the channel here. Resistance. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4. The question is now, look how it's playing here on the 4 hour. There's this channel here, this channel here, and let's zoom in. I'm not sure whether to count this or not. I'm not sure whether to count this or not. I could, but I won't. And I'll tell you why for now, because I'm going to judge this support line here by zooming into the hour. Okay. Let's make this a little tighter on the hour rather than the 4 hour for now, because we can see the support and resistance on the hour. I think our descending channel might give us a clearer indication on the 1 hour. I think. Zoom back out for a look. Yeah. Now there is this channel here. Yeah. This is the relief rally pump. So you can see the relief rally pump. To there we go. You can see this pump up here, and it broke divergence here. So of this pump, it broke divergence, came up, broke the channel, back tested it. It's got rejected off both support and resistance lines here. They became resistance, down to the daily support, got a bounce off it, back up to this 4 hour support, got rejected off the daily channel here, and now it's getting a much stronger push down. Broke through the daily to the 4 hour, is after back testing the daily, got rejected, and is coming down again. At the moment, it's after breaking through this 4 hour, it's back testing, and again, I think like XRP and Bitcoin, I think it's topped out. Potentially 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 leg. It looks like it's topped out. So here's the back test, and if it gets rejected, it looks like on the 4 hour, the next target is potentially 1,040. 1,040, yeah. But let's see if we can map it out on. Let's see if we can map it out on the 1 hour. What can I do on the 1 hour? It's nice and clear and tidy on the daily, on the 4 hour. There's all the supports, resistance. What I'm looking at is this move down, and keep thinking I'm missing something obvious. Okay, well, I'll point out the most obvious is this channel here. Top, bottom, top, and potentially is we could be looking at a bottom here. Okay. So now let me flip back to the 4 hour for 1 sec. So here's this move here. Back test, rejected, and down we come. It did an impulse here, a number of impulses. I'm going to put the fibs on the top here to the bottom here to here. So I'm mapping this out. You can see price action broke below this, so now I'm going to follow the fibs down. And again, you can see it's hit the 1618. Doing another back test. If it gets rejected at the 1414, the 4-hour support and resistance channel here, we could be looking at a bigger impulse to the 2272, which is down here at 1065. So it does seem like ETH is heading for at least 1041. There's the lower low at 879. It definitely looks like it's coming back here. Yeah. What we need to watch for is this back test, and if it gets rejected. Okay. If it gets rejected. If it can continue up, here's this impulse down. The general target for that, if we looked at it as a 786, it would probably come back up and test this channel line again. There's the drills. It's going on for weeks. I don't know what they're doing up there. So if this impulse down wants to catch a breath and come back up, it looks like it'll be coming back up to test 1649, 1650. If it gets rejected here, it looks like it's coming down to 1041. And 1041. Yeah, that's definitely the local. You see the local zone that I was showing you here is when it gets to 1041, it'll be interesting to see what it wants to do. If it does get there, it'll be interesting to see if it wants to do. Will it get a bounce and head back up, and we get this sideways action, which could indicate the bottom is in. If it breaks below this, again, look at this impulse. Here's this correction. If it breaks below this, we could be playing on this channel here, which still supports the sideways. If it breaks through the lower low, then I would probably put the fibs on this like this here. So now if it breaks below the lower low, here's the impulse, here's the correction. If the correction breaks below this, you reverse them and you start looking at levels below this. And the general one you would go for is the 1618, which would take it down to 520. If it wanted to do a more shallow one, there's the 1272 at 697, and that would take it down to this channel here. Yeah. That would take it down to this channel here. And again, you have the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back up 4, 5. Go for a deeper low. 6, and then on we go. So if we're going down for that 600 ETH or so, 700, 560, it looks like there could be a bounce here, catch a breath, and then down again, and that would be elongating out the bear market, and then we would have our recovery and it starts heading up. If this is the bottom, we could be bottoming out here again at 1041. Might want to do a double bottom and come down here and do an 879. It might even want to come down and do a 791. Just hit this, and then that might be enough, and then up it goes. Yeah. So I think it's going to be very telling over the next few weeks and months what's going to happen. So that's ETH. So now locally, as in trading today, tomorrow, is levels to watch. It's broken through this 4-hour support. So I think if it gets above 1289, 1290, does a back test, then it looks like it's heading back up to at least 14.25. If it gets rejected at 12.90, and there's an impulse at the moment on the 15 minute, and it gets rejected and comes back down, is I think the target that it's probably looking for is 1040. And I know there's an impulse move due soon, which ranges anything from 15 to 40%. So that would be a 20% move. Actually, let me correct myself, because if it is heading down here, it will be from here, because this is the last local top, so it could already be on its way. So if it goes down, there's a 26% move. Okay. Now this is the local bottom at the moment, so on the way up there's a 16. There's a 16. It went all the way back up to this channel. There would be 39. There would be 40. All the way back up to 1700 or so. Yeah. Now if I do the Rocky Horror Show, start from here and come all the way down, 10,040 is 25%. If we went to this daily support line here at 876, oh damn, because there is a big move due, 37% is 876. And 44% is 791. Back to this channel here, yeah. And again, the double bottom. So just as an axis point, as a tipping scales, this line here at 1290 seems to be the decision maker. If this gets rejected and heads down, is that move looks like it's definitely going to hit 10,040. Potentially, is if it wants to do that 35-40% move, is we could be coming all the way down to a double bottom around this space, yeah. And if it recovers, is we could be getting a bigger lift, yeah. So that's it. That's them apples as it's playing out at the moment.